I mean, things move fast. I was talking to a friend a couple years ago about this, and we were just talking about digital and podcasting and cord cutting and all the vagaries and things going on in our business. And I said, like year to year, stuff changes so fast now. Stuff that platforms that didn't exist, now TikTok. It didn't exist 5 years ago, not that I knew of. And I'm like, it's just crazy. Where is it all going to land? I have no idea, but it's just a lot of stuff is moving. And a lot of this is just all technology based, right? There's a new platform for you to watch stuff on, feels like every year. And we know this. Like if I would have told you 10 years ago, I'm going out to dinner tonight. Got any cash? No. Don't even have a nickel. What do you mean? I don't carry cash. 10 years ago, that sounded ridiculous. Folks, I couldn't tell you the last time I had a $10 bill in my wallet. I never have cash. 15 years ago, I'm going to put my daughter in a stranger's car. She'll go to the airport. Are you crazy? Today, it's Uber. Like, why park your car? It's $30 a day at LAX. Just take Uber. Doesn't make any sense to park your car at an airport. 15 years ago, the idea of going to a game without a ticket. Going to an airport without a ticket. Now you look at people with a ticket, you're like, what are you, a dinosaur? Is it a Spielberg movie? What are we doing here? There's a ticket to the airport. Things change and they change fast. 10 years ago, maybe 5, if I said to you, a team's going to trade LeBron. They're over him. Whoa. Really? He's missed 75 games in the last 4 years. He's missed a season in the last 4 seasons. And he's getting older. He doesn't give you 44 minutes a night. He's not nearly as dominant on the defensive end. I would prefer the Lakers keep LeBron, trade AD, blow it up this offseason. So what if you had to trade him? LA has a history. We just get the next guy. Kareem, Wilt, Shaq, LeBron. It's what the city does. Matt Stafford said, I want to go to LA. OBJ, get me to L.A. Paul George, I want to go to L.A. Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma, a top 5 job. Get me to L.A. This isn't Cleveland. Lakers shouldn't be desperate. The greatest leverage you can have in negotiation, no fear. All right. I mean, the bottom line, LeBron is somebody I'd rather keep. LeBron wants to stay here. But there's an argument to be made. LeBron needs L.A. right now, as badly as L.A. needs LeBron. His business, his net worth has doubled in 4 years. He is crushing it out here in business. When he got to Los Angeles, I was told he met with 6 billionaires in the first month. They lined up in Los Angeles. I know people that are in his business, LeBron's business, they were literally being handed checks for new projects. They were saying, they had to say no. They could have said yes 30 times a day. LA is good for LeBron. LA is attractive to pro athletes. I know conservative news outlets tell you nobody wants to live here. Yeah, they do. Pro athletes do. It's sunny. It's beautiful people. There's great business. You put Giannis in LA tomorrow, he would make so much more money than he makes now in Milwaukee. There would be so many opportunities for him. Shaq in Orlando was a good basketball player. Shaq in LA was an industry. If Magic Johnson only played in Portland, he wouldn't be the iconic figure today. So the reality is with LeBron, Brian Windhorst has a column today that's fascinating. He said LeBron is ticked off at the Lakers for 2 reasons and spent the All-Star weekend making sure he got it out, talking to reporters he knew that would send his message, that LeBron wanted Westbrook traded and was furious that the Lakers put it out there that LeBron was okay with it. He didn't want Westbrook anymore, and he didn't want it out there that he was okay with Westbrook anymore. So he's upset with the Lakers. 10 years ago, put your daughter in the car to the airport. Outrageous. 5 years ago, trade LeBron. Ridiculous. I'd prefer to keep him, but it's not off the table. Listen, the Lakers are not winning a championship with this group. It's over. You got one. I said this earlier this week. Kevin Durant and Steph, we thought it was a dynasty. They won 2. That's good enough. Absolutely good enough. I mean, Michael Jordan won 3, left, played baseball, came back, won 3. That's the greatest dynasty of all time. Shaq and Kobe only got 3. And those are considered dynasties, all-time stuff. Folks, you got one with old LeBron and brittle AD. And you're not going to get another pandemic so they get 3.5, 4 months off in the middle of the season. So the Lakers right now, basically, this is what you do as a Laker fan. Cross your fingers every night that LeBron or AD don't go down. That's literally what Laker fans do. It's not what you want to be as a pro sports fan. This is not a desperate city. This is not a desperate organization. I would rather not trade LeBron. I would rather build around LeBron and Malik Monk and the Reeves kid, maybe Avery Bradley. That's maybe Carmelo off the bench. That's what I'd like to do. But folks, things change fast. You can't be fear-based. This is not a city that struggles to attract talent. And right now, LeBron's business is better than his basketball in L.A. He needs L.A. too. Ryan Clark used to play for the Steelers. Now he's often critical of them, which I like. J.J. Redick this week, by the way, was critical of Zion. I like that too. That's why you hire analysts. They have access and are willing to say things that sometimes are harsh and fans don't like. J.J. Redick and Ryan Clark have hit home runs this week. Good for them. Ryan Clark came out and said it will be a failure as an organization if the Steelers stick with Mason Rudolph. Of course, Joy is a Steeler fan, so I kind of tap dance around my criticism of Pittsburgh. But Ryan Clark is absolutely, positively, 100% right. And this goes with something that is becoming a very disturbing trend for fans in the National Football League with defensive head coaches. Vic Fangio thought his defense and Teddy Bridgewater could win. He just got fired. Mike Zimmer thought Dalvin Cook running and my defense can win. He just got fired. Ron Rivera thought Taylor Heineke and Ryan Fitzpatrick were good enough. Pete Carroll, fourth place. Run the football, play defense. Don't worry about offensive coordinators or continuing to evolve the offensive line. Brian Flores, excellent head coach. Defensive coach, though, couldn't get along, make it work with three offensive coordinators. Fired. This is a disturbing trend. Mike Tomlin can't possibly think Mason Rudolph is good enough where Joe Burrow emerged as arguably the best young quarterback in the league. And this is a problem. Sean McVay had a quarterback that got to a Super Bowl, offensive coach. What did he say? I got to upgrade. Andy Reid had a quarterback, Alex Smith, that got him to the playoffs. Andy said, not good enough, upgrade. Kyle Shanahan, Jimmy Garoppolo could get us to the Super Bowl. Not good enough, trade up, get a college kid. Time and time again, the offensive coaches in this league, Bruce Arians, Jameis Winston, by the way, threw for 5,000 yards. He was wildly productive. They were in a playoff hunt to the last weekend with Jameis Winston. Not good enough. The offensive coaches have an understanding how important the quarterback is. And these defensive coaches, even the good ones, Zimmer, Fangio, Tomlin, Rivera, Pete Carroll, run the ball. Quarterback is important, but it's not. No, it's everything. It is everything. Every division was won by the best quarterback this year. Every single one. Every NFC team that won their division had an offensive coach. 6 of 8 divisions, offensive coach. AFC East doesn't have one. Take that out. 6 of 7 available conferences, offensive coach. And Vrabel won his because the rest of the conference is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. If you don't get it in 2022 as an NFL coach that Mason Rudolph is not good enough, you are a CEO in America today that doesn't understand that the work-from-home culture is not going away. You don't get it. You want to force workers to go back to work. I own a little company now, podcast company. I get calls every day. Get me out of this big corporation. Come to my company. You can work at home. If you don't get it, you got to be replaced as a CEO. People are going to work from home. Work 4 days a week. Have coffee, hang out with the dogs in the morning. They don't want to drive to work. And if you don't get it, you got to get fired. You got to get a new CEO. I was reading a story this morning at The Atlantic about work at home culture. Like, people are going back to movie theaters. They are not going back to work. They have no interest. They'll change jobs. And as our economy grows, especially in tech, these young people who are amazing at tech, they'll just find other places. They're not going to work. So you better get it. And Mike Tomlin's a great coach. He'll be a Hall of Famer, I imagine. But you got to get it. That ain't good enough. Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield is significantly better than Mason Rudolph. Significantly better arm than Mason Rudolph. So here's how you know Mason Rudolph's not the answer. Because if you asked Zach Taylor, coach of the Bengals, if you asked Kevin Stefanski, coach of the Browns, if you asked John Harbaugh, coach of the Ravens, who they would want the Steelers to play at quarterback, they'd all go, Mason Rudolph. They'd want him over Carson Wentz or Jimmy Garoppolo or Deshaun Watson. They would all say, yeah, go with Mason Rudolph. That's the guy even the defensive coaches I like, Tomlin, Zimmer, Pete Carroll, I think they're really good coaches. Even the guys I like, Brian Flores. Guys, the world's changing. People are going to work from home. They want to work 4 days a week, not 5. You've got to be better at quarterback. The old play good defense and run, it's over. In that division now, if Baker Mayfield's your third best quarterback, I mean, he's talented, got an arm. Not my cup of tea all the time, but got an arm. Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. And you're going to bring that BB gut in? Come on now. Got to do better. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.